If only he knew the theory of friction heating. This theory suggests that the low coefficient of friction of ice is caused by the constant friction of the top layer. The initial swing of the club causes pressure melting, similar to the reaction of ice skates applied to the surface of the ice. Since the molecules of ice at the interface cannot properly bond with the molecules of the mass of ice beneath, once the individual falls, the pressure reaches the ice molecules below that are in a semi-liquid state, causing a day at the park to go from perfect to subpar.
Bitch, you guessed it!
An In My Feelings challenge or an inelastic collision challenge? Becky over here is a perfect example of Newtonian mechanics at work. Linear momentum is the product of the mass and velocity of an object. It's a vector quantity with both the magnitude and direction. The vehicle shown here has a forward vector incorporating both its large mass and velocity. By exiting the vehicle, Becky then applies a perpendicular momentum vector. Once her feet touch the pavement, her kinetic energy is now dissipated into the ground, causing her momentum to now translate into the reverse vector direction. Since energy never leaves in this equation, Becky just proved that the law of conservation of momentum and Kiki have a lot in common.
Bitch, you guessed it!
This seems like a perfect time to discuss equilibrioception. This is one of the physiological senses related to balance. It helps prevent humans from falling over when standing, running, or jumping on fences. Our brother over here clearly had a disconnect between one or more of his body systems. The visual system, which includes the eyes, the vestibular system, the ears, or my hypothesis, the proprioception, which determines the body's sense of where it's at in space. All it takes is one missed signal between the brain and one of these balance sensories to go from having hops to having not.
Bitch, you guessed it!
Well, someone's feeling rather froggy. But unlike a frog, which has elongated limb bones and extra joints specially adapted for leaping, humans rely on standard methods of mechanical power. As no-bounce Bobby makes his attempted leap, he exerts his power over the distance of the water canal. At the moment of launch, however, his trajectory falls below 45 degrees, which would allow the maximum possible horizontal travel. This, along with his inability to apply velocity at the launch, results in Bobby coming up, well, a little short.
Bitch, you guessed it!
If the radius of gyration of a body could be explained in true biological terms, well, this would be it. The axis of rotation is defined as the radial distance of a point where its moment of inertia is the same as the actual distribution of mass. Daggering, the dance made popular in Jamaica by dancehall music, requires the body to be rooted in its center of mass at any given time, as the hips, legs, arms, or whatever daggering tool the dancer uses are backed into the rear end facing woman. The radius of gyration becomes the square root of the mass average. Normally having structural and molecular applications, it can be determined experimentally with neutron and X-ray light scattering. But I think we can all agree this dance technique is confusing enough as is.